Our guest is a FAMU Law alum from the class of 2020. He graduated with magna cum laude honors, and he describes himself as a forward-thinking attorney with a passion for resolving complex legal matters and developing lasting strategies for clients. We welcome Andrew Easler, Esquire, to Legal Connections.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm so honored.
So happy to have you here. I would like to know where you grew up and a little bit about your background first.
Okay, yeah, so I used to be a military brat. So I was actually born in Idaho, and I've lived in quite a few different places throughout, but majority of my life I've lived right here in Central Florida. My mother was born here in Orlando, so kind of a little bit of an Orlando brat, if you give it that way.
That's different.
Yep,
We don't run into as many as we'd like here.
Yep, absolutely.
So tell me what's been going on since you graduated from law school.
Yeah, so after I graduated from law school, I took the bar, and then instead of doing the smart thing that a lot of people do and working for somebody else and learning a little bit more, I decided I'm going to go on my own. So I started up my own law practice over in Melbourne, Florida, Easler Law. Fortunately, it's been working out for me. Been a couple of years, and so far, so good.
I did that.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm one of those people that I just kind of leap before I look sometimes, and hope things work out. And so far, it's been working out for me. I've got a couple attorneys working with me, and paralegals and legal assistants, and I've been able to help a lot of people along the way.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations even on the honors, and because law school is by far one of the hardest things that I've done, but you seem like you handled it quite well. Tell us about this book.
Yeah, so one of the things that I was doing during law school and even before that was helping other people with legal compliance. My passion even before law school was education. As you know, with our degree, the Juris Doctor, it's the Doctor of Laws, which is also a teacher of laws. And that's one of the things that actually attracted me to the legal field, because all of my life I've always wanted to be able to help people. And one of the skills that I've had is hopefully being able to convey concepts that are sometimes complex in a simpler term that people can actually utilize. So I decided to go to law school, learn a little bit more about the law, and then that ended up helping me get into compliance, breaking down some of these more complex regulations that's more digestible for a wider audience. And so one of those regulations is the 49 CFR Part 40, which is a big mouthful, but essentially it's transportation regulations. Congress back in the 90s decided, hey, there's some people on the road that are under the influence, some people that are flying planes, driving trains, those kinds of things. And it's causing accidents and fatalities, and we need to do something about it. And so for those safety sensitive positions, the federal government said we need to have a mandated drug and alcohol testing program to make sure that those people aren't causing these kinds of fatalities in the workplace, or at least do what we can to try and prevent them. And so that resulted in the 49 CFR Part 40 and some of the resulting regulations. But it's a big book.
And okay, so let's just say that in all my days, as my grandmother used to say, I've never heard of this particular statute.
Right.
And so what made you choose this topic?
Yeah, so I was in undergrad going for my education degree to become a teacher, and I decided to start up my own business. And that business was biometrics technology, doing fingerprinting and background checks, one of the things we need in order to become a licensed attorney, but also real estate agents and things like that. So instead of getting an office, I ended up going around the state doing mobile fingerprinting. I learned a lot about Central Florida because I drove around in between classes and doing people's fingerprints in offices or mansions down south or wherever it ended up being. And then a lot of employers kept on asking me, hey, I see that you're doing my pre-employment background checks and you have this great technology and you're good at service. Can you do my pre-employment drug and alcohol testing?
Wow.
And so I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. I'm busy enough as it is. But I decided to go get trained and qualified. There were enough people that were asking for it. And I drove out I didn't drive out, actually. I flew out over to Utah to get some training, and the training was not what I was expecting, and some of it was actually just incorrect.
Okay.
And so I said, okay, I can do this better, right? I've got my education background. I can help
Right.
people. I can learn these skills. And so I developed my own training program. I taught my own people, my own offices. I ended up getting a bunch of offices. And then it just kind of snowballed from there.
That's wonderful. And who's your audience?
So I have a pretty wide audience, to be honest. My favorite audience are these young entrepreneurs, people that want to start up their own businesses, doing drug and alcohol testing, kind of like I did, who are looking to, achieve those kinds of goals, who maybe don't have that a major opportunity to go out and buy a Subway franchise for however much that franchise fee is, right? But you still need that accessibility, still need the training, still need the guidance in order to be able to do that.
This is wonderful. And where can people, tell us first, the name of your book is?
Yes, so the name of my book is a bit of a mouthful. So it's a guide to DOT regulations on drug and alcohol testing. The subtitle, it's a little bit more of a mouthful. It's Required Regulations and Pro Tips from Andrew Easler. Obviously, me as the attorney.
Okay, and where can people get it?
It's available on Amazon, so you can always search on my name, Andrew Easler. Sometimes it's tough to get the spelling right, so you can always go just by the title.
This is so interesting. Is there anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, I just want to add, one of my favorite things about this show is the ability to make connections, right? And making connections is one of the favorite things with education, because once you make that connection, you've basically got it. You've got the achievement, you got the opportunity.
For sure.
And a lot of people may not necessarily directly relate to this big mouthful, the 49 CFR Part 40, but people know the difference between getting an opportunity and then having that opportunity taken away from them. And hope and despair, right? The more doors that you have open to you, the more doors you have available to you, the more hope you have. And I think that's one of the most important things that we can have here in the United States. And I love what you're doing here with Legal Connections.
Oh, thank you.
Giving those doors to those people.
And one takeaway I want to add is that I think people will be inspired by this non-traditional path that you had after law school, and even taking a course and saying, well, I can enhance that. So there are a lot of gems there, if you will. But thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Andrew Easler is another FAMU Law alum making a difference in the community. There's more Legal Connections coming up. Stay with us.